how can you safely remove a smell from your harp that you don't want without damaging your harp? You do not want to use lemon oil, orange oil, pledge, silicone polish, alcohol, bleach, ammonia, vinegar, anything like this. You don't want to spray any of that kind of stuff on your harp. Please don't use standard cleaning products on your harp. These can damage the finish, soften the glue in the joints. You don't want to use anything like that. Interestingly enough, this question has never come up before, but I could see it being a problem that a lot of people have. Of course, you know, if you're getting a second-hand harp or you're getting back a rental harp and someone has used very strong air fresheners or something like that in their house, or someone smoked, then the harp could really smell. Never been asked it before. So, how can you safely remove a smell from your harp that you don't want without damaging your harp? The first thing I would say about this is ask your harp maker. So I'm going to give some tips here, but I always think that if you've got something to do with the kind of, I know this isn't the makeup of your harp, but you could do something that would damage your harp. And the person who made your harp is always going to know more than anyone else about your harp. They're going to know about the finish, how long it's likely to last. They're going to know about the type of wood. All wood has got different grains and it's going to soak in different ways. Like, harp makers know so much. I remember at the How to Harp retreat last year, Jacques gave a talk about building his harps, and he went into so much detail about how the trees are grown, and they have to be grown in this certain way and not on a hill and all this stuff. He knew so much about trees and wood and everything. Definitely, first point of call, go to your maker. If you have bought a second-hand harp and you haven't bought directly from the maker, still go to the maker. They're still going to be delighted that you have one of their harps. So don't think, oh, I can only go to the maker if I've bought the harp directly from them. Absolutely go to the maker. Say, I'm so excited. I've got a harp of yours and this is the thing that's going on. Maybe you're trying to get a smell out like Kelly, or maybe there's something else going on. So always go to the maker. That's the first thing. So from a little bit of research that I've done, the first thing I want to say, you absolutely do not want to, and I'm sure you're not going to do this anyway, but just putting it out there, you do not want to use lemon oil, orange oil, pledge, silicone polish, alcohol, bleach, ammonia, vinegar, anything like this. You don't want to spray any of that kind of stuff on your harp. Please don't use standard cleaning products on your harp. These can damage the finish, soften the glue in the joints. You don't want to use anything like that. For standard cleaning of the harp, you want to use a soft cotton cloth, wipe away, a microfiber cloth to wipe away any dust and skin particles. You should actually be doing that regularly. You might think your harp is clean, but it's maybe not as clean as you think it is. And it's not even if you have a dust cover on your harp, when you play your harp, bits of skin are coming off your fingers. That's why it looks even more dirty in between the little eyelets. So you should clean your harp regularly with a microfiber cloth, a very soft cotton cloth. You can use a toothbrush for all these little bits and in between here. I know that you might think, oh, well, that's not going to take out a smell. But actually, if you wipe it down with a nice microfiber cloth, then if there's any oil lying on the surface, it will take that off. You can use a very slightly damp cloth. Very slight. I'm not saying a wet cloth. A very slightly damp cloth and a very small amount of sugar soap. very gentle, but just still be careful with that. You don't want to get your harp wet, so certainly even a damp cloth. If you're using a damp cloth, go back in with a dry cloth to really make sure it's dry afterwards. Here's the bit of research I found when I was trying to find things that would help. So air freshener smell is oils and chemicals that have soaked into the finish and maybe even the wood. And what you're actually looking to do is absorb the smell, not cover the smell. So safe ways to remove odours: get a bowl of baking soda and leave it near the harp. Not on the harp, just place a bowl of baking soda near the harp. I do not know if this will work. This is a bit of research that I've done. Leave it there for a few days and then switch the bowl out. Apparently the baking soda can actually draw the chemicals out of the wood and soak up that smell. Worth a try, I would say. The same thing with activated charcoal. I don't know what that is, but there you go. Apparently that'll work as well. Don't use it on the harp. Put it in a bowl near the harp to soak up that smell. Those are the suggestions that I have for you guys. The bowl of baking soda or charcoal in the room, you'd need to leave it for a little while, like a week, and replace the bowl and see if that helps. And then most important thing is get in touch with your maker. I would say even if you sort it with baking soda, get in touch with your maker, because your maker, knowing that you have your harp, that you have that harp, you can give them the model number, they'll know the exact harp that you have. And then you've already made contact. So then if there's anything in the future that you need to contact them about, they know you're there, they know you have that harp. You know, it's good to get that relationship with your maker. So definitely, hopefully that advice helps.